Tea Party of Nevada candidate Scott Ashjian admits he signed up to run for the U.S. Senate a few hours before he changed his party registration. But is it enough to make a Carson City judge throw Ashjian off the ballot? We'll hear from both sides. Plus, the Department of Energy is offering to hold off on dismantling Yucca Mountain while a judge decides whether to hold off for longer. We'll tell you about the legal efforts to resuscitate the dump we thought was dead. And the Republican frontrunner for the U.S. Senate gets national exposure on late-night TV. Is it true what they say about just getting your name right? That and all your political headlines next on Face to Face.
This is Face to Face with John Ralston.
Welcome to Face to Face. We'll bring you newsmakers and commentary you won't find anywhere else. First, let's take a look behind today's political headlines. After years of threats, a national advocacy group for children is suing the state and Clark County for the county's treatment of foster children. The National Center for Youth Law alleges the state and Clark County have failed to comply with state and federal laws and have shown indifference for the well-being of Clark County's foster children. This is a brutal lawsuit and targets a county and state strapped for resources but not lacking in good people. We followed these issues here on Face to Face, and we've seen some tragic consequences over the years. We'll have more on this very soon. The Las Vegas attorney who wants to take Attorney General Catherine Cortez Masto's job is now being investigated by the state bar. Jacob Hafter asked the bar to investigate whether Cortez Masto violated Nevada's rules of professional conduct when she refused to sue the federal government over health insurance reform. Now, the bar is investigating whether Hafter, in his complaint against Masto, violated the law by knowingly making false statements or whether he engaged in fraud, deceit, or misrepresentation. Hafter calls the move political retribution. That seems unlikely, but it's also highly unusual to sanction anyone for false statements during a campaign. But I guess lawyers are held to a higher standard than political candidates. Who knew? They say all publicity is good publicity, as long as they get your name right. I wonder if Republican Senate hopeful Sue Loudon feels that way after last night's Tonight Show.
I love this story. A woman named Sue Loudon, I think it is, L-O-D-E-N. She's a Republican who is running for the Senate in Nevada. You know this health care thing? The Republicans are against it. She says one of the ways you can keep the cost of your health care down is to barter with your doctor. You know, trade with him. Yeah. That's a great idea. But what if your doctor's not Amish? Okay, what do you do then?
The Democrats aren't letting this one go. Today they showed up at Loudon's headquarters, get this, with a goat and some chickens. Get it? Farm animals for medical care. Pretty clever. But I think the Democrats should keep their day jobs because they're not challenging Leno for his nighttime job anytime soon. Flanked by his attorney, Tea Party of Nevada candidate Scott Ashjian fought this morning to have his name kept on the election ballot. Ashjian says he signed up to run for the Senate before changing his registration from Republican to Tea Party. A Carson City judge took the case under advisement, promising a speedy resolution. In a little while, we'll hear from the state chairman of the Independent American Party, which is trying to throw Ashjian off the ballot, and we'll talk to the attorney representing that party. But first, here to talk about today's hearing, Tea Party of Nevada candidate Scott Ashjian and his attorney, Alan Lichtenstein. Thanks for being here, gentlemen. Appreciate your staying in Reno late to talk about this. Okay. So you did it backwards. You know you did it backwards. You went and filed, and then you switched. Did you know you were doing it backwards when you did it?
No, I did not.
So you didn't even look into this? I mean, why did you do it the wrong way?
We flew to Carson City we flew to Reno to file at the Capitol to give the respect to the Northern Nevada people. We figured that was the right thing to do. Immediately after returning to Las Vegas, we drove directly down to the county, changed my voter registration card to Tea Party in Nevada, and then subsequently that night we were on your show, so that's how we did it.
Well, it was the best part of the day, of course. But I guess what I'd ask you is that you knew when you went into the Secretary of State's office and filled out that form, as the attorney Joel Hansen pointed out today in court, and we'll talk to him a little bit, you were knowingly lying on that form by saying you were a member of the Tea Party. You weren't.
No, I was not knowingly lying. I didn't. I may not have understood exactly what the form said. I put Tea Party in Nevada. There is a Tea Party in Nevada. I was a registered Republican at the time. I changed it a few hours later, as you know, and there was no intent to mislead, defraud, or anything else involved in that. It was.
Now you sound like your attorney. Let's let him talk. All right, Mr. Lichtenstein, listen. You don't have the facts on your side here. You know that. So you just.
I disagree with that.
You do? He registered to vote as a Tea Party candidate after he filed as a Tea Party candidate.
Well, John, you were at the hearing, so you also know that when the judge asked the representative of the Secretary of State when these things are recorded, it's by the day. So this was all done during the same day, during the same period. The sequence really doesn't matter in terms of the government's recording of these things. So it was done at the same. It was done essentially at the same time, and there was no fraud. There was no voter misrepresentation.
Your argument is a doctrine of substantial compliance, which is applied, you say, in past cases. But the other side argues, let me finish first, the other side argues, if you're going to have these rules in law, they have to mean something, right? You have to do X before Y. If you let somebody do Y before X, it sets a precedent, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't.
He never agrees with me, by the way. Go on.
That's why he's my attorney.
Go on.
The doctrine of substantial compliance is not my idea. I mean, there's ample case law with electoral statutes that the Nevada Supreme Court has said, and basically it is, and I've shown you this, they've said when it's compliance with, for the basic objectives of the legislature. Here, he didn't even have to be a member of the Tea Party or even a registered voter in order to run as the candidate for the Tea Party. That's Nevada statute.
Well, let me ask you something. But you made the legal argument. Let me ask you something. Do you feel like you're some single A ball player who was suddenly brought up to the major leagues and you can't handle the pitching?
I don't think. I think that what we've done is handle all of the pitching that's been thrown at us, and even very fast fastballs. We've dealt with each issue as it comes, and we completely anticipate on dealing with more. I told you in the beginning that we were in this thing till November. We plan on winning the election in November.
The court's going to determine that, though, sir.
Well, we'll see, and if that's the case, we'll do what we can to argue that decision also. So.
Well, one thing that the judge did during the hearing today, he did not rule. But he did ask for a document that I think may be very significant. I want to know what you think legally of this. He asked for the actual filing of the candidate list from the Tea Party, which has by law to be filed too. That was filed hours before Mr. Ashjian went to actually file for his candidacy.
No,
wait.
It was a different document he was asking for.
He asked. It was sent to me. It was filed at 9 o'clock in the morning on March 2nd, the same day, by Barry Levinson, and it said, Scott Ashjian, Tea Party candidate. It's a candidate list. Maybe you haven't seen that document. I'm opening your eyes.
No, he asked for that, but he also asked for the initial document for the formation.
That's the formation.
That went back in.
But I think the
January.
more significant one, I'm trying to help you here, sir. The 3 hours before he actually filed, he was already listed on a document in the Secretary of State.
That's absolutely correct. And then the Secretary of State representative said all those were filed in a timely fashion.
You think that's probative, to use one of your legal words?
It is probative. Everything that was filed is probative because everything that was filed is correct. And at the end of the filing period, at the end of that day, every qualification was met, every technical requirement was met. This is an attempt by some other party to throw competition off the ballot. I think the voters of Nevada, as well as the members of the Tea Party, which is a proper Nevada minority party, they have the right to vote for him or not vote for him, and there's no reason not to, and I think that's what the judge is going to rule.
We're out of time. You think he's going to rule quickly, right?
I think he's going to rule carefully. I think he'll do it with all due haste, but I think he will make sure all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed.
All right, Mr. Ashjian, Mr. Lichtenstein, pleasure to have you on the program.
John.
Good luck to you.
Appreciate it.
And we'll have you back if you're still on the ballot. If not, we're not interested in you. When we come back, we're going to talk to the folks who are trying to kick Scott Ashjian off the ballot. The Independent American Party folks here later. We're going to have a debate on Yucca Mountain.